Good evening. This is Phil Wilson from the Real Pro Sound Guy store in Montana. This is a pre-assembled test of Dan Sullivan from Casper, Wyoming's Tandberg 6000 series unit. Dan, it's been a long time coming. Sorry for the delay. It's been a month in-house right now. We're going to be having this out in 2 days max. We're going to be putting it back together tonight and everything cosmetically. But we are all done. Finally, the pinch roller came, and this is what we were waiting for right here from Terry's. It's a beautiful job. But that came in. So I wanted to give you a test of your unit. You're going to see a lot of pictures of a lot of work we did. It was really basically everything needed to be reworked in this deck because of its age. And cork, especially the cork linings that are behind these reel tables and everything too. So you'll see the extensive work for that that we did earlier. And the re-rubbering, of course, we got new rubber with the crazy 8 belt, we call it on here, that actually propels from one motor, the main motor of your deck. The 2 reel tables functions for fast forward and rewind, and then during the play to keep the tape taut. So between that and then the new rubber on the idler wheel that drives the flywheel for your capstan, and then your pinch wheel that pinches that and propels the tape. That's all been done. We've reworked the lower amp, cleaned and made sure there was no dead spots in any of your switches and everything. And we're finally just calibrating. We just got done calibrating the unit. And you're going to have this test from tonight, and then tomorrow you'll see 2 tests of a play and a record again with the skin on, with the whole deck beautiful, cosmetically ready to go before we ship. But I wanted you to see your moving parts. You know, it's always nice to have the customer know how their deck works and everything. And it's kind of phenomenal how all the Tandbergs were made, from the early ones all the way till they got into the 10s and the 20s, and they changed to 3 motor decks. This is a 1 motor deck, 1 main motor, very nice precision motor that's in here. It's been cleaned and lubed. It has a lot of life left to it. Your heads have phenomenal life left. It hadn't been run that long. I know you think you're the original owner of this, but you didn't use it much. So we have a lot of good head life left, and now it's going to be good for another 30 years after us taking the old lubes out and rebuilding it with cork that will never deteriorate. You'll see that in the process with your photos. We do a 3-layer cork instead of their single cork. They're crumbled away. And then, of course, we had to set up all the tables and the brakes and everything. So we're just going to go through this so you can see the parts, and we'll point out the parts that are moving as it goes along. So, first off, let's just go with fast forward. We put a tape on here with clear rails that's just very small, so you can see through it and see your working the working parts of the deck. Right now, that new 8 belt there, that belt that goes all the way across there, is doing the work from the main motor, propelling this reel table to go counterclockwise very fast and give a little drag on this one here. So the brakes then come into play to make sure that the tape doesn't fall off and it stays nice and taut, not too stretchy, just the perfect amount. That's these settings here that we did for that too. Then you have rewind. And you can see that's the same functions happening with that belt right there. No spinning of any of the capstans or any of the lower deck or the part to propel the tape is not working at this time. It's just working those reel tables. So we're going to stop it right around 0. Pretty good. We're going to do some recording with this right now too, and then we're going to play it back. We've got on the platter, we've got Fleetwood Mac Rumors. Everybody loves that. Hopefully you do too. We're going to record a song from that. We're kind of preset here for that. And we want to show you some advantages and disadvantages of how to use this off button. You know, most decks don't have an off button, they have a pause button, but this one is intended to be used, and we'll show you why and everything too. So I'm going to go put in the record functions, and as you know, your meters only light up over here when you're pressing your record buttons. They don't light up for play functions. They're only meant to light up to alert you that you're in the record mode. The light that we've replaced here for your counter, that stays on as long as the deck is on. Okay? So I'm going to press both of them in together. I'm going to press out the stop button here, and I'm going to set the deck up ready to go for record. As you can see, because I have it in the play function here, now this flywheel this drive wheel engages the flywheel to start the capstan spinning. The pinch roller is not engaged yet against the capstan to propel it until I press that button in. I'm set on record. We've kind of got these preset on your inputs to come into the phono side, and we've got to click the phono. You can't see that. You'll see that in your next test coming up. But we're going to go ahead and go with this. First we're going to go ahead and let it propel, and then we're going to drop down the needle. And what you're actually seeing, I hope you can see your needles and everything like that, you're actually hearing the playhead play the recording as we record this. So you would do this like to set up a tape, or maybe if you want to take it from a record too. Invest your first song, invest your first song to set your needles here, to have them right popping into that zero modulation for a good strong recording, but not over-modulated. See, certain hits like drums will pop it into over, but your vocals are doing just perfect here. I think that's long enough right there. We'll go ahead and stop that. That was 81 seconds apparently here by the meter. We're going to rewind it to close to zero. We're going to listen to it being played on that tape. And that should be it right there. So we're just going to go, right now the record function automatically turns off when we go to home or stop on your joystick. You'll see this on your next test when we have all the case and the switches on for you to see. But I think you know your deck too. So we're just going to play it now. And as you can see, your needles are exactly the same as what it was when it was from recording the input. And we'll listen to it. Now remember we talked about this button. It's like a pause. Well, what it actually does is lets the motor, when you start off, we'll go back to the other, we'll listen to the end of the song, we'll start it over again, and I'll show you the best way to start your tape when you put a tape in is to have this on off, so that it gives a chance for the flywheel and the motor to run at the proper speed and up to speed instead of dragging up to speed as if you don't use this button for the off, okay? Another function they've done, they've used it for a pause so you can really get dead nuts on that start and stop. There's a little break that actually comes right down and stops that tape right at that spot. So if you were doing editing for recording and things like that too. It's a nice function.